Have you ever wondered about the wars that shaped the world yet remain largely unexplored in popular history? One such conflict is the Boer War. Nestled in the annals of history, this war, fought from 1899 to 1902, was a pivotal event that significantly influenced the landscape of modern South Africa. The two main parties of this conflict were the formidable British Empire and the Boer settlers, hardy farmers of Dutch, French, and German descent who had made South Africa their home. These were two very different entities clashing over control of the region's rich resources, and their struggle led to a war that was as brutal as it was transformative. The Boer War, despite its profound impact, often slips through the cracks in our collective memory, overshadowed by the larger, more globally encompassing wars of the 20th century. So, what exactly happened during this mostly forgotten war? The seeds of the Boer War were sown long before the first shot was fired. It's a tale of riches and rivalry, set against the backdrop of the South African veld. In the late 19th century, the Boer Republic struck gold, quite literally. The discovery of gold and diamonds led to a rush of prospectors, many from Britain, all seeking a slice of the wealth. This influx of foreigners, or Uitlanders, as the Boers called them, stirred up a hornet's nest of tension. The Boers, fiercely protective of their independence, felt threatened by this new wave of settlers and the influence they brought. The drama heightened further with the failed Jameson Raid. Orchestrated by British forces, it was a botched attempt to spark an uprising among the Uitlanders, but instead of quelling the unrest, it stoked the flames of conflict. The Boer and British relations were strained to a breaking point. With tensions mounting, war was inevitable. The conflict, which spanned from 1899 to 1902, was far from a straightforward affair. In the early stages of the war, the Boers, comprising mainly of local farmers, had the upper hand. They capitalized on their knowledge of the harsh South African terrain, striking swiftly with guerrilla tactics. The British, despite their military might, found themselves unprepared to handle this unfamiliar form of warfare. However, the tide began to turn as the British adapted their strategies. Under the leadership of Lord Kitchener, the British forces shifted from traditional warfare to a scorched earth policy. They burned Boer farms, destroyed their crops, and disrupted their supply lines, aiming to starve the Boers into submission. But this was not where the British strategy ended. To further isolate the Boer fighters, they established what would later become known as concentration camps. Here, they interned Boer women, children, and men unfit for service. The idea was simple: cut off the support system and the fighters would have nowhere to run. These camps, however, were more than just strategic points. They were sites of immense human suffering. Sanitation was poor, food was scarce, and diseases ran rampant. The toll on the civilian population was staggering. Thousands of women and children lost their lives in these camps, their stories becoming a grim footnote in the annals of war history. As the war dragged on, the British Empire's inexhaustible resources and relentless tactics began to wear down the Boer resistance. The Boers, who had once held the advantage, found themselves outmatched and outmaneuvered. Their spirit was strong, their courage unyielding. But in the face of such overwhelming odds, even the bravest hearts can falter. Despite the Boers' fierce resistance, the British Empire's resources and tactics eventually led to their surrender. And so, the stage was set for the next chapter in this tumultuous period of South African history. The end of the Boer War marked a significant turning point in South African history. The curtain fell on this conflict with the signing of the Treaty of Vereeniging in 1902. This treaty was more than a mere document of surrender. It was a profound shift in power dynamics, bringing the Boer republics under British control. With the stroke of a pen, the Boers relinquished their sovereignty, their independence sacrificed on the altar of British imperialism. But the end of the war was not the end of the story. The aftermath was just as significant, if not more so, than the conflict itself. You see, the Boer War left an indelible imprint on South African society. It laid bare the divisions and tensions that would simmer beneath the surface for years to come, eventually bubbling over in the form of the apartheid era. And it wasn't just South Africa that was affected. The war's echoes reverberated far beyond its borders. The Boer War played a crucial role in the establishment of the Union of South Africa in 1910. This union, a federation of the former colonies and Boer republics, was a direct result of the British victory and the subsequent consolidation of their power. The legacy of the Boer War was felt even more profoundly on the global stage. It served as a precursor to later conflicts, particularly World War I. The strategies used, the lessons learned, the mistakes made, they all influenced the conduct of warfare in the 20th century. The Boer War was a harbinger of the mechanized total wars that were to come. So as we can see, the Boer War, though often overlooked, played a pivotal role in shaping the world as we know it today. It was not just a forgotten conflict in a remote corner of the world. It was a turning point, a harbinger, a catalyst, a war that changed the course of history. In these few minutes, we've walked through the major events of the Boer War. We began our journey exploring the causes of this forgotten conflict, which lay in the discovery of diamonds and gold, and the subsequent tensions between the British Empire and the Boer republics. We then navigated the tumultuous waters of the war itself, highlighting key events such as the Siege of Ladysmith and the Battle of Spionkop. We saw heroes emerge, strategies unfold, and the tide of war turn in unexpected ways. We concluded our exploration by delving into the aftermath of the war, the Peace Treaty of Vereeniging, and its profound impact on South Africa's political landscape. The legacy of the Boer War still resonates today, shaping the nation's identity and leaving a lasting imprint on its history. Next time you delve into the annals of history, remember the Boer War, a conflict that changed the course of a nation and left an indelible mark on the world.